There we go. How's everybody doing this evening? We are now live. We're Figure Action. We're a new podcast coming to you live through the power of the internet, as Boogie298 would say. I'm a pretty big fan of his. I don't know if you guys ever watch him. But yeah, we're coming at you. It's Friday night here, and we're all ready for our weekends. Joining me tonight, we've got Parts Former, as per usual.
Howdy, folks.
How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about yourself, Zero?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, I'm still on call. I'm technically on the clock. Life of IT.
Hey, man, paid to podcast is
yeah, exactly. I'm salaried. I'm salaried to podcast.
Close enough.
But I'm doing great. I had a pretty good week, and I'm looking forward to next week. I will not be here next week, so we'll maybe have a sub in. I'm doing a little beach getaway, so with the girlfriend, it's going to be a good time.
Very
good. Yeah. And joining us also, we have T-Man 978. T, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
I am glad to hear. You know, you got the chill voice going, man. And you got you're the only person that podcasts from like a futon. So you can literally just chill out. You know,
I did last week. I don't know if you saw me land to the side.
I did see.
The Jeff Goldblum of toy reviewers.
The chillest of podcasters. Joining us this week, we also have a new addition. We've got Dave Letwack, also known as True Star Screamer. He's going to be a permanent addition to the show. Dave, how you doing, buddy?
Rocking and rolling extra. How you?
I'm doing fantastic. As I explained to Parts.
You just said,
geez,
yeah.
Act like this is your first podcast.
Please be gentle.
Get it together, man.
Oh, never be gentle. Never be gentle. You know, so if anybody's noticing, Matt and Adrian, unfortunately, will no longer be joining us. You know, they had some other obligations and personal reasons, and the show just wasn't a good fit for them. But I want to thank them for joining us and helping us get the show started for the first 3 episodes. They are true friends, and
they're
really
always welcome back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely loved doing the show with them, talking to them, getting to know them a bit better. And I just want to thank them for everything they did. And, you know, hopefully in the future we get to work with them again. And I just want to thank those 2 gentlemen. They're a pleasure to work with and truly professional. And they will be missed as regulars. But we're very fortunate to have True joining us, and we also have one more addition. You'll get to meet him in a couple of weeks. He's on vacation, so
it's summertime, man.
Hey, it is summertime, and with summertime comes a lot of big releases and new things coming out. We'll get to that in a little bit, but first, I think we should go through some hauls. So, introduce you first, Parts. What did you get this week, man?
I am not very big in the Marvel Legends game, apparently until this week, where I went a little. I mean, let's face it, they've released so many figures this year that it's
right.
You can't walk down an aisle. You can't walk down the betting aisle in Target without seeing a stack of Marvel
We got to
Legends.
do some math to see what the total cost of everything they released this year is.
I saw it figured up as to about like a month and a half ago, but that's since been blown out of the water. So I picked up the Wolverine from
Very nice.
the Apocalypse Wave, and from the same wave I picked up little Psylocke.
Very nice.
And I don't have him here on the desk, but Extra Zero actually found Magneto for me and picked him up.
Nice.
And then also today, spoilers, I actually found the Venom wave in Target.
There you go.
Someone on my Instagram posted that they started almost countrywide. They were hitting targets today. So I plugged the SKU in the Brookseek, and sure enough, the 3 targets nearest to me had them all in stock. So as soon as I got off work, I rushed out, and I saw the white boxes that are very easy to spot. I saw the white boxes all the way across the store and went straight to it, and sure enough, I found them. Also, when I met Zero, he was kind enough to give me a Darth Revan figure that he ordered extra of, so I was very appreciative of that. He's actually over in my Star Wars display right now.
That's a great figure.
So thank you for that, Zero.
Hey, you're welcome.
And I think that's it for this week. Back to you.
Very cool. T, what did you get this week?
Well, I got several of the same figures he just got, like Psylocke here. I wish she was more awesome, but she's a female Marvel Legends figure. It's awesome she comes with these accessories, but yeah. I did get Storm as well. And yesterday, I don't know if if anybody looks at my Instagram.
Oh, I do.
I do.
I do.
2-pack right here. With Killmonger and Agent Ross, which I've been looking forward to. This guy definitely.
Yeah, the head sculpt is great.
Awesome.
I think it's not just the faces. They're getting better with hair too.
Yeah, the hair is good. I just wish. Well, you'll hear it in my full review.
He doesn't want to reveal too much.
Tonight got Blast Off, and this packaging is really cool, but then you just think that it's a deluxe class figure in here.
Even still.
I mean, it's painted nice from what I can tell, but I need to open it up. I
gotta tell you, I still have my Bruticus at arm's reach, and I'm actually really excited because he stayed on my computer desk. Him and the Insecticons and Shockwave, they're all like on one tier of my desk right here, and I'm really excited to get that new Blast Off, and then pop the arm off and finish what is it? Was it Galvatronus?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing that combiner.
The throwaway.
Very cool. Throwaway, but he looks neat.
I have my Bruticus out for this reason, and because I wanted to connect them to Starscream.
And you're gonna get so much grief if you don't do it in the chill review.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I'll move on to. Oh, anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool. We'll move on to True. What did you get this week, buddy?
This week, a little light, but I'm in North Carolina, which there's pretty much nothing ever to find. But I was able to score the Rider Wolverine.
Very cool.
Very nice.
So I got that. Then, of course, the bike. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen what I've been doing to these bikes. But we'll kind of talk about that a little. I guess talk about that later. I also was able to score the 10-year Captain America and Crossbones, which I guess the easiest way to say, if you've been holding off on Marvel Legends, this is, especially the MCU stuff, this is the time for these 2-packs to get these figures. Because while this is the same one we've gotten like 3 or 4 times, this is the best version of the Chris Evans Caps figure. Same here. And Crossbones is just jaw-dropping what they've done with the detail on this figure. I can't, like, from the bullet shells to the clips to the gauntlets, this actually reminds me a lot, I think you mentioned off air, of the Figure Arts Deadshot, of the amount of stuff they crammed on it.
Yeah.
This is the Marvel Legend. This is the Marvel Legend equivalent of that figure.
Yeah, well.
And then
$5 more into him, he would have been SH Figure Arts quality.
After that, I picked up some stuff on some side sales. I got I got a loose MP10.
Nice.
And I got a Figure Arts Akuma, which just collapsed into a box, so I'm not going to go retrieve because it's going to make way too much noise.
Is that that's not your first MP10, is it?
No, my first MP10 is still sealed in a box. And then
wow.
And then I never got around to opening it. Now he's worth too much to open. Then I won a clear MP10 in a raffle, which has been the one I've got up on my display shelf over here. And so that's my actual real legit MP10 to mess around with. Just in time for 3.0.
Hey, you know what would be a good way, I mean, for people that have large collections, is to take the because they did the clone Optimus Prime in a couple episodes, like take your MP10 and repurpose them for that, or just put them in vehicle mode. One of the two.
Megatron came with the helmet, so yeah, that works.
Exactly. That's the thing, is put him in there, and especially if you have the Takara one where he's got like those dead-looking eyes. You get yours. The MP10 you got that's loose is Hasbro.
No, actually, I think that might be Takara. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now, yeah, I can tell because he doesn't have the painted headlights, and he doesn't. You can't really see his eyes.
Nope.
So how did you get that guy? How did you come across one? Was it
This one? A very good friend of mine actually set me up with this one. A guy I've done a lot of business with locally, named Daniel. So he set me up. He gave me a good deal. I couldn't say no to.
And it's complete?
Oh yeah, I got the trailer as well.
Very cool.
True confession time. I actually don't own an MP10 proper and never had.
Wow.
I got a mint sealed box when I can.
I had the MP10V, the Voyager knockoff, but I never bought the actual MP10.
Wow. I guess when 3.0 comes around, that's just going to be.
Yep, that'll be the one I jump on.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a train wreck, which it shouldn't be. It looks all right so far.
No. The only thing I'm worried.
Screw up Prime.
No, they don't. And lately, they, from what I understand, they moved to the same factory as 3A. So hopefully, paint shipping is not a factor. So.
And you guys also see that Masterpiece Dinobot's been rolling out. I think there's a couple early reviews.
Mine's shipped.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I should have mine. Spoiler alert! I should have mine by the middle of the week. This next week. So I should have actually a pretty epic haul next week.
But you won't be here.
No, I won't be here to talk about it, so we'll have to wait until the following week. And then I'll have a really epic haul.
We'll devote half the episode. We got you.
Yeah. You just play the song Here Without You. I'll be happy. 3 doors down. I won't sing it, I promise. As for me, I also got a couple of Marvel Legends. I know, shocking. But a little story time. When I was a kid, I loved the Toy Biz figures. And I loved the Toy Biz X-Men figures a lot. And they were kind of like what I was into when I segued out of Transformers a little bit. Like when G2 was kind of dwindling down, there weren't really any options for Transformers. And the Toy Biz... The Toy Biz Wolverine and Sabretooth were 2 of my favorite figures, and it really it's such a good feeling to have the 90s look Wolverine and Sabretooth again. This new Wolverine is just incredible. The new engineering they have on him, butterfly joint, the sculpt, the paint. He's just there's nothing bad I can say about him. Sabretooth. A little lacking. He's good. The sculpt work is really good. The paint is really good, but the engineering, the tooling on him, he could have used a butterfly joint. But for the purposes of getting into poses, he's a-okay.
I think I saw that some of those Sabretooth Sabreteeth had trouble with the hair. The hairpiece wasn't actually fully attached to the head. Can you speak to that on your review?
No. For mine, it's fine. Like mine has no issues. Now this fur piece on his back came off, and I had a hell of a time getting it back on. I actually had to put some shock oil and I had to lube him up. Also, this arm originally was really loose, and I had to work some future floor polish in there to get it fixed up. Also, what else did I get? I got the Studio Series Lockdown, which is he's okay. He could stand to be a little taller, but the paint and the sculpt work on him is really good. Got a little bit of a backpack, but he's a really fun transformation. He's fun to mess around with, and overall, another nice addition to the Studio Series. Another thing is he's probably the most stable deluxe. Like a lot of these deluxes have issues with pieces popping off or coming apart really easily. He's rock solid. I just kind of wish they had some sort of extension mechanism in his legs. And last but certainly not least, this was something that Matt had actually sold me on. And what the heck did I do with him? I had it a minute ago. It's the Megabox Alien, and the Xenomorph from the very first Alien. You can tell because he's got the skull cap. And this is, for those that you can't see it, it's actually a transforming alien figure. It comes with a face hugger as well, and an alien egg, which curiously houses a chest burster, which it's really not meant to go in there. The face hugger is supposed to go in the egg, but it transforms into a cube, and it can be stored in here. And it's a really fun figure. And for those of you who haven't heard of Mega Box, they're just kind of neat little figures that are highly articulated and turn into boxes.
No
There's really not much more.
Like,
Yeah, that's their charm. And this is actually a licensed figure. They're coming out with a power loader and a queen, and it was $30 through BBTS. It even has like a spring-loaded mouth gimmick. And yeah, this is just this is a really neat desk toy. I would recommend if you're unsure, and $30 is kind of like a little iffy to spring on a a curiosity piece. They do have the little raptor pieces, which T-Man reviewed. What was that called again, Matt?
It is the God damn it! You put me on the spot.
OB something.
Yeah, it was the Dio. Hold on, I got him right here.
Oh yeah, Dio 2. Is the power loader bot gonna be bigger than the Xenomorph?
Probably, because the thing about the Xenomorph is, in order to form a cube, it splits into 3 pieces. So it's got the face hugger, the egg, and the Xenomorph. They all combine.
There he is.
It looks like the queen. Yeah, and this thing. So Parts Theory brought it to a meetup, and I was just really enamored with it. It's just a neat little robot, and those will run about like $15 on Amazon or BBTS.
BBTS, I believe this guy is 13. I want to say.
Yeah,
and they have a bunch of different colors and varieties of the raptor. And then they also have, what else do they have? They have a gorilla, an elephant, and triceratops.
Yeah.
All part of the same line. And again, they all just transform real simple into boxes because boxes. I don't know. It just seems to work.
And didn't you say that's a figure that's, I mean, they're really well made. But you said that's one that you let your son mess around with, right?
Yeah. It holds up to it really well. I mean, he's pretty gentle with toys, but still 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Yep.
So very cool. Very cool. I'm looking forward to this next haul. I want to talk about it so bad, but between Dinobot, I got some other stuff coming out. But that's it for me. That's pretty light week for a change. So getting into to our discussions for this evening, the Bumblebee movie is and there's a lot of controversy going on with it. Now, true, to your namesake, we know you're a big Starscream fan. And when you saw the Bumblebee trailer, were you hyped for Starscream?
Well, and actually, T-Man can back me up on this. I actually didn't think he was Starscream.
Really?
I thought he was going to be Ramjet.
Yeah, there were rumors that he was going to be Ramjet.
I thought, when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be Ramjet, and that way he'd be able to have the fight and then call for Starscream because, okay, I'm a nerd. Starscream appeared. I know, but I'm saying I remember when the previews first came out. The whole idea when Starscream first appeared was supposed to be from the Martian lander when he assaulted it.
Right.
So.
Oh yeah.
But these
continuity.
Movies,
I know.
Yeah.
But and then my buddy's like, "No, dude, it's got to be Starscream. It's got to be Starscream." And then I even looked up on IMDb, and Starscream is listed on the IMDb.
In fairness, though, in fairness, like when it comes to IMDb, like basically these days, anybody can edit it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
true.
If we just if we take a look at what we had for Starscream here.
Well, actually, the guy who voiced Starscream just passed away.
Charlie Adler died?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, I did not know that. He was a big voice actor.
Starscream voice actors don't last very long, do they?
Well, unless you're Frank Welker.
Ironically, we lost another Starscream.
Yeah. Wow. But yeah, here
don't jinx SpongeBob's voice because he did.
Tom Kenny.
Yeah, he only did the one season. But
Well, no, not just one season. He was also in Revenge of the Fallen. He was yeah, he was Starscream and yeah.
But yes, when I saw my buddy's like, dude, he's got the vents on the head, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, if that's Starscream,
The red things.
yes,
Red,
all
white,
of that.
and blue.
And then they gave us the news.
Yeah. So that's Blitzwing.
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 Of course it is.
And then, funny enough, he does not appear to be a triple changer. So for those of you that aren't well versed in Transformers, Blitzwing was a tank, jet, and robot, and this just kind of seems to be an odd choice.
And also one of the main Decepticon triple changers that actually made sense with both alt modes, as opposed to the tanker that becomes a 747.
With the appearance of being a tank, I honestly could. Drift didn't look like a helicopter or a car, and he could turn it into both. And his toys couldn't pull it off either. They had to release a separate toy for each mode.
That's true. I totally forgot the Drift was a triple changer.
Yeah.
Which
I did in one scene.
But still, I mean, so this one they'll probably maybe they'll give us an awesome toy that pulls it off, or they'll sell us two separate toys because they'll know we'll buy them.
I think it's going to be two separate toys because they haven't been putting a ton. They've been putting a little bit more engineering with the Studio Series, but not a ton of it. And we already see that Dropkick is going to be a separate helicopter.
But
yeah,
I look at the Voyager line from this last movie. You know, Nitro was awesome. All that whole line: Nitro, Hound, Scorn. Megatron. They were all fantastic figures. So maybe they will pull it off.
How
do y'all think the character is going to be in the movie, though?
Well, it's Travis Knight. So Travis Knight did Coraline. He did Kubo and the Two Strings, and he's a type of director. He did Paranorman as well. You know, he's typically an animated director. So I think for someone that comes from an animation background, the animated characters are probably going to get the better development than the human characters. I think Haley Stanfield's character probably will have the most out of the human characters. But I think we're in good hands unless the studio kind of takes the reins from him. Because, I mean, the number one complaint is you have a movie called Transformers, and it's not about the Transformers. They're just the background piece.
So they feel like they can have that. They need the humans to relate to for the audience to try to live through vicariously. And I just don't think if you pull off the characterization of the Transformers well, then you don't need that human aspect. If you have relatable, like, I mean, in every movie, and I'm not a big movie fan. I think they're entertaining. I don't think they're Transformer movies. But the Autobots are assholes. All of the Autobots are dicks. And that's not a good way to have a relatable character. I mean,
well, in the '86 movie, you had Daniel there, and Daniel was just kind of a vehicle for explaining things in a lived-in universe. And that's what the human character should be. They should be thrust into the world of the Transformers. There's this war going on, and they're like, wait, why is this happening? And it gives the Transformers a minute to stop and give perspective to the audience through that human character.
Just as long as they don't say, hey, Shape of Water got an Oscar, let's see what we can do here.
Oh, God.
Because they have that one scene where they're both in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to see a banana going in Bumblebee's tailpipe.
Beverly Hills.
She's already putting a cassette in him. So
that's why he wiped his memory after the tailpipe incident.
Like she puts the cassette in him, and you hear Carol's Whisper starts playing.
That might be a deleted scene. I can only hope. That's a deleted scene.
Oh, that's nasty.
I mean, as far as the movies go, I will say that this movie's shaping up to be the better one so far.
Well, no bay.
Looks good so far.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like DC's got me scared of trailers now because the DC movies can put out a hell of a good trailer and then something happens.
What do you think about the Shazam trailer?
Oh,
that's that's exactly one of my points. Is that
Yeah.
Shazam trailer's got me excited for a character that I don't know much about, and dare I say, I don't give two shits about right now.
Same with Aquaman. I'm actually hyped on that.
So, but again, they put out really good trailers and they sell you really good on it. And then nowadays with the internet and early Twitter reactions, if you looked at the early Twitter reaction for all of DC's movies, it's like everyone's like, relax, this is a great movie, fans are going to love it. And then it comes out and
side note too, our buddy Gort, who's Cromdor in the chat, he affirms that Charlie Adler is indeed alive. So thank you for that, Gort.
Sorry, different voice.
That eases.
Passed away.
That eases my heart a little bit. I was like, Ed Bighead is dead.
Hey,
I don't want.
Gord, can you have him call into the show just to verify?
He does the Bev Bighead voice, like, "Yes, I'm alive. Stop calling me."
You went into like cigarette gun and grandma there for a second.
I did. That's how. Did you watch Rocco's Modern Life?
I did.
That was how Bev Bighead talked. Oh, come here, Rocco. Give me some sugar.
Kind of a Lotto Comics. I do remember that.
You turn the page, wash your hands.
Good night.
I forgot. I actually got the most twisted toy in the world this week, too. I forgot about that one. I need to grab this for you. I have to run out and grab this. This is the most messed up piece of movie merchandise ever made.
All right. Well, let's.
There is hype to this. There is hype. Give me 30 seconds.
All right.
TF fan page told us that we can't call Bumblebee a Bay movie anymore because it's not directed by Michael Bay.
Well, I'm kind of okay with that. I mean, if this movie ends up being more than what the Bay movies typically are, I can see people separating it from the Bayverse. Despite having similar aesthetics. All right, let's see what you got, Drew.
A buddy of mine gave this to me, and it has to be put out. This was an authentic Fast and the Furious 7 figure.
It ejects Paul Walker from the car?
That ejects Paul Walker from the car.
Oh, yeah.
That is the feature of this toy.
You know what you need to do is you need to get a little speaker, and you need to like get like some way that when it ejects him, it plays that Wiz Khalifa song.
Yeah.
I didn't know the right way of hyping this, of doing a review, but it's just so good in the package. But it ejects Paul Walker.
That's what you need to do.
This is from 7. He was dead. This is the movie he died from.
Was that commercially released?
Yes.
Holy shit! Like I was like thinking that like maybe you got something that was like pulled or recalled or something.
Is the ironic part that if he'd have been ejected that well from the vehicle, he might have lived?
That is kind of ironic.
So,
rest in peace, Paul Walker.
We're taking bids. No.
It's been a long time without you, my friend.
So good night, everybody. That's
yeah. When I start singing, no, and end it right there. Hey, when we were talking about putting cassette tapes in Bumblebee's, please tell me it's not a scratch. That's when T grabs the camera. The Mega Action Series, not to be confused with the Moss Toys, a third-party company, they showed off their Soundwave, and it's looking awesome. real good. And I'm kind of...
You were out on him, weren't you? And then you saw the pictures and...
Shut up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
He's going to get them.
Looking real good, and it actually houses real cassette tapes. How are you guys feeling on this? I know T, you don't have any that you've messed with my Optimus.
And your action figure too.
Yeah.
It was a prime
yeah. Here, I'll pull up some pictures here for those watching on YouTube, so you can check this guy out. So T, you're saying this may actually be your first purchase from this line.
Yeah, once I saw that laser beak, I was like, oh my god, I want that right now. It looks like a more improved Masterpiece Laserbeak, and the fact that it actually transforms makes him one step above Optimus and Megatron.
Yeah, it looks like
And
it's borrowing.
used to be one of my favorite characters anyway.
Yeah, it looks like it's borrowing some of the engineering from the Masterpiece. But you know, I like that it actually houses, and it doesn't. It probably will not play actual cassettes, but it looks like you can put real cassette tapes. So yeah, here's Laserbeak transformed, and
That is
to me,
insane.
looking at it, it appears to be the same or similar engineering to that Masterpiece.
He's going to be a customizer's dream.
Yeah,
I know somebody's going to put a cassette player out of him.
I wouldn't be surprised if people actually retool him to make him transformable as well. Because I mean, the Mega Action series, they're nice figures, but they're ultimately, you know, they're made out of thick, durable plastic, but they're ultimately hollow. So there's probably a way.
Very hollow.
Yeah.
Nature finds a way.
Do y'all remember that big Soundwave cassette player from back in the 80s?
Oh yeah,
It couldn't move. It just stood there.
Yeah.
I had that too.
They actually made a Soundwave that played MP3s about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Has it been that long?
Label.
Wow.
This is where you pimp your channel again, T.
Oh yeah, I did a review for him. Music label Soundwave chill review. It's been more than 10 years, to be honest.
But
so we are old. Yes.
I got some LEDs in this guy, by the way. That was another thing I got.
Oh, nice.
The batteries.
What do they run retail?
They're typically $200 retail, unless you can find them elsewhere. Then you can get
less than Flame Toys.
Yeah, less than Flame Toys. And to be honest, having owned both, I find that, and the people may cry sacrilege, that these have more of a presence, personally, for my tastes, and they're more fun to mess around with, personally, per my tastes. I know a lot of people like the intricacy of the Flames toys, but for me, like these are like dream figures. Like, you know, when you see like those big Jack specific figures, on shelves and like Target and Walmart and Toys R Us used to carry a lot of them. For me, it was this: they looked kind of neat, but they didn't have the detail or the articulation. And these Mega Action series tick those boxes. They've got LEDs, they've got articulation out the wazoo. I mean, look, we got a double jointed elbow that gets over a 90-degree bend. We got an ab crunch, and it's really tight on there too. Yeah, the joints on these guys are super tight. Save for my waist swivel here. He's not super loose, but head on a really nice ball joint.
You're gonna have to lift him up a little bit because he's gonna be blocked by.
But yeah, I mean, just, you know, I'm not gonna go over the complete full articulation, but see, like, look at that ab crunch on there. And the fingers. Yeah, the hands are probably the biggest selling point on these guys. They have, you know, a 4-way pivot, you know, so you can get the roll of the dice, you can get the in and out. Each of the fingers has 3 individual knuckles and then is on a ball joint. The thumb is on a ball joint with individual knuckles, so you can really get any pose you want out of these guys. They're just big and imposing. They have tons of details, like the Optimus. His matrix comes out; it has an LED in it. With Megatron, you can take off this chest panel, and you kind of get some detailing similar to how it appeared in Beast Wars. And, you know, when Megatron took over, or
the Sparks merged. Yeah.
The Sparks merged, yeah. But anyway, with the Soundwave, I love the fact that they're little bits of they're updated designs, but they're G1 and they're highly articulated and they're made out of really good materials. And I just wanted the Optimus and the Megatron, but this piece is tempting because, well, one, the Laserbeak, you know he's going to have LEDs, and you know he's going to be made out of good materials. I can't. Anybody that wants to dip their toe in, the Megatron is the one to get right now. The Optimus is good, but the Megatron just, you know, it's so much better.
I'm just worried that their Devastator will be the size of your Detolf.
Oh God. God help us all if they do a Devastator. But you know what? It would be the most stable Devastator released anywhere.
$100.
So the T, my question for you though is, if you were to just get Soundwave, could you stop there?
Yeah, because they cost so much.
Unless they make a Jazz.
Money stops me.
If they make a Jazz, he will own it. I know it.
Yeah,
And
that's
Bumblebee even more than Jazz, to be honest.
You know, Bumblebee would be a good one to have as the entry level, because he'd be like maybe a third or a quarter of the size. And actually, I think to make him more fun, it'd be fun to just do half size instead of making an actual to scale. But
if they're doing Soundwave and Laserbeak,
they will have to make,
they will make the rest. They will.
Yeah, they'll make a Sound Blaster, and and that's the thing. That's where rabbit holes happen. So as much as I want the Soundwave, it's a very, very difficult. In fact, I think Blaster would probably happen before any of the other Autobots, to be honest, because they for a non-transforming figure that's stylized, they can convert that to Blaster pretty easily.
I see Starscream coming before any Autobots.
Starscream seems like a logical choice too, because then you get all the repaints out of him.
And then the Soundwave, in theory, should be able to hold the Ocular Max tapes, right?
Yes, because those are, It was funny because when people first saw that, they're like, "Oh, well, finally my Laserbeak will have a, have a figure it's in scale with," because the Ocular Max birds are way too big. And then everybody saw that it comes with that transforming Laserbeak in there. Oh, no. Because and really though, anybody looking for a better Laserbeak to fit in with the Ocular Max collection, I think that would probably dethrone it, to be honest with you. And it's official licensed product on top of all that.
MMC doesn't matter. They've already made their sales. I mean, they don't care.
Yeah, true. But
on the subject of non-transforming Transformers, I don't have this on our notes page, but let's talk for a minute about the model kits that they've been showing. The Flame Toys model kits.
What are the prices on those?
The Starscream that I'm probably going to end up getting is $40, 35 or 40. It's not bad either way.
Oh, God, I'm going to end up getting that. I know it.
They showed a Devastator. They showed a IDW Megatron, and then a Bumblebee too, right? T, didn't they show Bumblebee?
Those were model kits.
One of them. I didn't realize. Some of them were.
I thought they were Flame Toys. Are they Flame Toys model kits?
They are.
Yeah, they are.
So they're
that's
cheaper.
The company that's making them. They are cheaper. They're a hell of a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, I want that Bumblebee. I saw they had a Bumblebee.
That's like a figurized versus a figure art for the Dragon Balls.
Here, I'll go ahead and I'll share out some photos here. So right off the bat, this is so they're all heavily stylized, conceptual designs here.
Yeah, you have to kind of buy in on the style, the design choices. But I mean, they still look fantastic. And as you scroll down, you'll see the articulation is fantastic on them. It's just
it's Hound right there.
Oh, I didn't even see the Hound before.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man,
it looks like he's really early. Yeah, he does kind of have some of the same cues as the Striker Manus a bit.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Now I have the Optimus on pre-order.
$35 for that?
Yeah. Now, I mean, of course, he's probably going to feel like Gunpla. So you know,
and you have to build him.
Yeah.
How tall are they?
That's a good question.
You know what? For $35, they look worth $35.
Yeah. That looks like that's all there is to it. I would guess they're probably in the ballpark about 8 inches tall.
Now, if they do something like that, like you mentioned Gunpla, if they do something like that, like a Robot Spirits, then I'm dead.
Yeah, man, if they did Robot Spirits, I'd be all in on that. In fact, there's that SDCC Siberia kit for the Pacific Rim Uprising. That I don't know if you guys saw it. It was like a box set. and it's really not all that expensive. I think it's like $60 for the set with a better painted Gypsy Avenger and Obsidian Fury. And
I haven't seen
I
that.
think, don't quote me on this, but I think you can actually, with that Gypsy, you can put the chain blades on its arms.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I might be wrong.
So this Flame Toys Optimus model kit, BBTS has it on pre-order for October for $36 rounding up.
That's not bad at all.
Product information, it is 6.10 inches tall. So it's not huge. It says over 40 joints. Comes with the axe, the ion cannon, and then 2 pairs of hands. I don't know if that means 2 extra hands. I'd have to see if there's.
They had pictures of the hands.
Yeah, so there's closed fist and then there's gripping fist.
And then they had splayed hands.
Yeah, I'll pull that back up real quick so we can take a look here.
They're about the same price as them.
And looking at some of the posing shots
right
here on
there.
BBTS, this Optimus looks amazing.
I'm just curious how much paint work's going to be required. I'm sure it's going to be molded. But, I mean, these are kind of painted to the nines here.
So figurized kits can be deceiving. How they don't have any paint on them, but they're able to layer the plastic just so it looks like it's painted. I mean, the faces come out nice, and it's all precast plastic pieces that fold in on top of each other.
Right.
So they can work magic with it.
There's going to be some hobbyists though who's going to paint over it anyway.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh, no doubt, and make it look spectacular. I'm sure.
It won't be me because I'm lazy.
Oh God, which collection should I sell next?
I'll give you $57 for that sealed in box MP10. $58 if you want to haggle.
Nah, I got to make some room now because I want those. I got to make room.
Did he say sold?
Well,
I think he said sold.
Well, let's get it. So we're kind of deviating from traditional Transformers here. No, you're good, man. I wanted to break into some other news. I think Parts wanted to talk about this. The new SH Figuarts Princess Leia figure.
She looks good, but she's also, so they had her on display last year. They had her, I believe, in the background of the SDCC stuff, or she's been popping up at shows here and there.
Yeah.
So we've seen her before, but then just all of a sudden after the show ended, bam, they release official product shots, and I guess she's going up on pre-order soon. As of this recording, I haven't seen her yet go up, but it should be soon. The reason, go ahead.
I think you're gonna say what I was gonna ask.
What were you gonna ask?
Is it because of it looks like there's quite a bit of soft goods on her. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't. Well, if their Obi-Wan is their old man Obi-Wan is any indication, there probably isn't. He doesn't have any. He just happens to pull off the cloak pretty well.
To say the Luke Skywalker looked like it had soft goods, but was solid.
So they're getting good at it. I mean, it definitely looks the part. But one of the reasons I added her to the list is that if anybody saw the Black Series reveals that there's 2 Leias coming out. There's a.
I like them.
Yeah, there's. What do we have? We have the Hoth. Is it a Hoth Leia in her snow gear?
Yeah.
And then we've got the Escape from Bespin Leia. That's just like almost like a jumpsuit. Not much to her. But when you look at those. Like, I know SH Figuarts is going to come with the accessories and the extra hands and this stuff. But the face printing on the new ones, the new Black Series figures, I can't justify $60 for this Leia when they're 20 or maybe 25 if the price goes up. I don't know, man. Like, if I got to cut the budget somewhere, the SH Figuarts Leia is going to be first because I got this other option.
It looks like you get more expressions with her too. For me, I mean, for like a shelf presence, I can kind of agree with you. But for me, what drew me into Figuarts, and I started collecting last year, it was the materials. It was that Figuarts feel like they're denser plastic, they feel more durable, and just posing them it's hard to explain until you get hands on with one. But posing them kind of feels more natural. So do you get like the same satisfaction with the Marvel, with the, I'm sorry, the Black Series that you do with the fig arts you find?
So that's what I was going to say. If you're into photography and you have a setup where you're posing figures and making action scenes and stuff, I get you. But if you're like 90% of the pictures that I see of collections, especially for Black Series Marvel Legends types, you've got them all like, you've got them standing on a diorama or in a row, and from a distance or even up close, you may not be able to notice a difference between the $60 figure arts or the $20.
When you got them crammed in together, you can't put them in the dynamic poses. So
right. So I guess it depends on your collection. Now, I'm not saying I'm out on the Leia. I'm probably going to get. Well, I'm cheap. So right now, where it's free to say so, I'll probably get both. But when it comes time to charge the credit card, we'll see where I sit.
So to play devil's advocate, though, when it comes to the Dragon Ball figures, I know you're a big fig arts guy there.
Okay.
So what stops you from going Ban Presto?
I've got. You mean the statue line?
No, like they're like regular articulated line.
The Dragon Stars?
The Dragon Stars, yeah.
Crunch.
Sure. So the thing about, and I see where you're going with this, and you're right. If you have them, like some collections have them just crammed in a detail for on a shelf, there's probably nothing stopping you. Black Series figures, though, tend to be standing or holding their lightsaber up or pointing a blaster or whatever. Where Dragon Ball figures, I could see most, even the casual collector, having them set up in dynamic, Kamehamehas or fighting poses. So I can see the articulation lends itself more. And I've never actually handled a Dragon Star figure myself, so I can't speak to those besides what I've seen in package. But
Dragon Star's articulation sucks.
We'll have to get Kevin to bring some out to the next meetup.
So I mean, I can see like Hit was a character that's only out in Dragon Stars right now, and I know everybody that collected figure arts that wanted him picked him up for Dragon Stars, knowing that Bandai wasn't anywhere near to releasing a Hit figure. So they must at least make good stand-ins, if nothing else, I don't know. As the way to answer your question, I guess technically it's the same thing, but to me, the fighting stances really sell it for the figure arts.
To go back to Leia, like I'm just like looking at the expression that they gave her, and like it's like the subtlety, right? So like yes, I get like your argument that and it's at the bottom of the thing. Come on now.
That wasn't Pocahontas from my movie.
No, it wasn't. But like here, right? This picture here in particular, where she's holding the blaster with her head cocked, and
that's ripped from the screen. I mean, that looks exactly like it's ripped from the screen.
The way the hood sits, like those are like little things that, yeah, she could be standing in a static pose, but I think that the thing about Star Wars, when you think about Han Solo, you think about that way that he held, like the way that Harrison Ford had him holding the blaster, and he had like that one leg forward. Like I think like characters like Yoda, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, those are characters where they can be, it doesn't matter what you get, they can be in static poses, stoic poses, whatever. But I think certain characters, just personally for me, I think that they lend themselves a little bit better to the higher end figures. And that was kind of like the question I was getting at is, I get having to cut costs somewhere because, having a representation for a character for a lot of us is just enough. I know a lot of people are okay with like MP10 and not replacing it with the 3.0. But then again, back when MP10 came out, everybody was like, or not everybody, but a lot of people were like, well, my MP01's fine. So it's always kind of interesting to pick the brains of people, when it comes to, settling for a version of a character.
And to the point for this Leia, like, and figure arts is not going to change their price point lower. So I got that. No. But like, with the design of this figure, especially with this one and the Obi-Wan, and you're almost losing full articulation from the waist down because of the design of the figure. So that one more step lends itself to perhaps switching out with the Black Series. And I'm not saying that the Black Series is better than the figure arts or vice versa. I'm not arguing either one. I'm just saying that I don't think you're wrong either way anymore.
No, you're not.
You go back even a year, maybe two, but actually last year, if you go back to those with the face printing being what it was back in the day, like there's no contest. We're not having this talk.
Right.
But with the way they look now, like it's just I can see people swapping out or at least settling on the Black Series and being happy with those, with their shelf presence the way they are.
Plus,
that Black Series Leia is nice. I even want that. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Which one?
With the Hoth one, you can finally reenact the most awkward kiss in all movie history. So,
I have seen pictures of her, and she looks really good. And that's kind of like what Matt was saying. That's kind of a testament to the new faces. The shading on that is really, really good, actually. The other one that really stuck out for me is oh God, what's the name of Woody Harrelson's character from Solo?
Woody Harrelson, that's his name.
if only, right?
Is it Beckett?
Beckett, yes, thank you. Like the Beckett figure looks amazing. They really like that's just another case where like the faces just really come to life, and the only thing I feel bad for with Black Series collectors is that you're going to find yourself with figures that just don't really mesh with one another, especially like the first Force Awakens releases. You compare like the Island Journey Ray to the Jakku Ray.
Yeah.
Like really it's not Night and Ray. Different. That was terrible.
That was amazing.
Knights of Ren and Ray.
Someone in the chat just boo me, please. That's what
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. Like what is it? The Rogue One characters. Like, God, I wish they had this face.
Yeah.
I wish my Jyn Erso had.
Because
like
Cassian and Jyn, they just looked like generic background characters.
Yeah.
They didn't really look like anybody. Even Krennic, he didn't look like much anything.
He wasn't bad per se. He was a little bit
like a news anchor.
Than the rest.
You take the cake off.
And then you have like Tarkin, where they waited until they had the good technology. And it's
God, I can't find that figure anywhere.
I'll keep an eye peeled. I've seen him a couple times. I just didn't. Even
I didn't review it yet, but I got it. Yeah. There's another difference with Island Journey Ray. Not only does her face look better, but she's significantly taller than the other figure. She's taller than the first Ray. And the other Ray. The training Ray. So I think they're starting to make the figures taller. Maybe to scale with Marvel Legends.
I was going to say, and that might be another part of the argument is, do they scale well, figure arts versus Black Series versus Marvel Legends and all that? And I guess there is a matter of scale conversation to be had there.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's close enough where I don't mind having figure arts mixed in with my Black Series and vice versa. It just, I don't stress about it that much, that so-and-so is this much taller than so, I don't give a shit. As long as they look the part.
One thing too to kind of think about is with Disney kind of owning everything now.
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, for anybody listening later, the Fox merger went down today, so we are getting X-Men in our Disney movies.
Yay!
I hope you weren't looking forward to that New Mutants movie.
Yeah. Potentially canceled along with Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
But I've heard Dark Phoenix was like, oops. Yeah. I
don't know why
that
they would do that again anyway.
I doubt that they won't not release them. He looks like he needs some Pepto-Bismol.
He does look a little constipated or something. I'm not sure.
Actually,
they both just look like they've been through some stuff.
You know what he looks like? He looks like Daniel Craig as James Bond in Casino Royale when he was getting worked over with that rope knot.
Oh yeah.
And for anybody listening to the audio later, T's holding up what the hell is his
Agent
name?
Ross.
Agent Ross from the 2-pack.
Which I am going to need that figure. I'm going to finally need to get a Doctor Strange figure so I can put his head on the chameleon body so I could actually have a Sherlock Holmes and Watson action figure set.
Oh, that's a good idea.
There you go.
Wow.
So we just talking about scale. And one of the notes we have is Hiya Toys. I've never heard of this company.
Oh, they did some alien figures, I think.
Yeah, they had some alien figures on display at SDCC. But what's really interesting is they're bringing in some 3.75-inch figures that look really, really nifty, and they look like they're highly articulated. Let me go ahead and pull it up. They're based on Injustice 2. And
yeah, I did. They look nice.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting some 3 1/4 or I guess 3 3/4 figures, with accessories, high posability, and a pretty decent price point.
Yeah, $20. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you guys
alien figures too, right?
What was that, Tick?
Are they making alien figures?
Yeah. So towards the end of the slideshow, they're not only doing alien figures, but they're doing
one
vehicles.
slide ahead. That vehicle.
Yeah. So these
I seen that in one of the somebody's coverage, and they were saying that you can put G.I. Joe in there, which makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think that thing is like $300.
Really?
Like the figures are cheap, but that vehicle is like $300.
The vehicle looks spot on, though. At least, I mean, from what I remember from Aliens, that looks really nice.
Just looking there, if they have a MSRP.
3.75, you can do some cool stuff with.
Wow, look at the...
When I was first getting into Figure Arts, I was also getting into a series called SICKT, which were actually 3.75 figures, and the articulation of those things were insane.
Were they based on anything?
Yeah, Master Rider.
No.
You wouldn't care.
Yeah, sure.
See, that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see if they brought Mask back. I'd love to see Mask come back with some highly articulated figures.
Please.
And then, kind of get you in on the figures, and, the vehicles come with a higher price point, but kind of incentivize getting those vehicles with like the figures.
I'm willing to bet right now, I can call it, that it's only a matter of time until they circle back and hit some of this stuff, because
they have to.
I mean, Christ, they're bringing Rugrats back, for God's sake. Like they're
are they?
Yeah, Rugrats is being relaunched.
If they brought Mask back, they would have to be the smaller figures, because the vehicles were the line, the characters were secondary. I mean, you'd have
and they would have to be small vehicles too, because Hasbro can't even sell G.I. Joe right now, or their vehicles.
Well, it's because what's available for G.I. Joe? Where's the push? It's like they had
where's the selling point here, the show, the commercial.
Yeah. They had Renegades, and they cut that short, and didn't really give it any time to find an audience. The movie just kind of came and went. And I remember they had the merchandise for the movie on the shelves like a year before it actually came out. And then when the movie came out, there was no merchandise to be found, because like the merch just kind of stagnated.
Which is kind of a shame, because I mean, I don't know how y'all feel, but the first movie I could really, take it or leave it. But I thought the second one was pretty darn good, actually.
I still haven't seen it. It's like one. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, they actually put the toys out for the second movie, but then they pulled the movie to do the reshoots.
Yeah. Yeah, because the test
audiences
didn't like the fact that... was it that they didn't like that Channing Tatum died so early?
Pretty much. That was the big thing.
He still
of course, now they're not going to get their Channing Tatum Gambit, so...
Yeah, that's not happening. But that's one thing you can say about the MCU, is that they definitely get their casting right. And I'm excited to see who they cast to play the X-Men. You know, whether they bring James McAvoy back. It seems like they're still keeping Deadpool around, of all things. But I guess when it breaks the fourth wall and doesn't belong in any continuity, you know, and it's
I don't know.
a cash cow.
If they could put that Colossus in MCU,
They could, and he'd look so much better.
And Juggernaut too. Spoiler.
And he'd look so much better.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, I mean, the Juggernaut hasn't been handled kindly in any film that he's been in so far.
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of the Juggernaut, and he was in the third one, right? Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of X3. Anything
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. She was Vinnie Jones, of all people. Like it.
The first two X-Men were great. And then after that, see ya.
You like the First Class stuff?
I liked the first. Okay, when First Class came out, I kept hearing how good it was, but I had a nagging fear that everything I like would get completely forgotten about in the next movie, and that's exactly what happened.
I liked the first half of First Class, like when Magneto was going around like getting revenge for World War II. I thought that was awesome, and
oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah. Then when they got to like the relationship between Charles and Raven, I was like, meh. And then the scene when they're like, let's make code names. We're working with the CIA. And then like Kevin Bacon comes down with the ridiculous helmet that made him look like Roger the alien from American Dad. And like, let's play Red Rover. And if you don't come to my team, you die.
There was a meme. There was a meme that came out a couple years ago that pretty much said everything that was wrong with the X movies, where it showed Archangel, powers of flight, died in a plane. Havoc, powers to explode, died in an explosion. Darwin, power to not die, died.
Died.
I mean, it's like...
Well, it was funny.
I didn't like the history jump. That they kept jumping 10 years, but everybody looked the same age.
No, basically, yeah. But those movies don't have continuity whatsoever. You watch X-Men or X-Men Origins Wolverine and shoot,
that was a great video game.
It was a great video game, but a terrible.
The movie based off the
movie.
video game wasn't so good.
Because like Emma Frost was an adult in First Class, but then in Origins Wolverine she was a little girl.
And she wasn't in any other movie afterward.
Right. Like there was like no continuity whatsoever. And
so the best way to watch Wolverine Origins is to not
play the Xbox game.
Play the Xbox or PlayStation. Oh yeah, play the Xbox game. The PlayStation 3 versions were really buggy.
Now Logan's good. I like Logan a lot.
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing is that like Logan works as a standalone movie. You know, like you don't have to have seen any of the other X-Men movies to get Logan.
It helps, so it can make it more of a tearjerker when the stuff happens to those characters that happens that I don't want to mention.
So, the next topic, another franchise that's getting a movie soon, but not a movie figure. Internet's we've got, before we get into our regular discussions for the evening, the Dark Horse Direct Hellboy. This thing's looking pretty good. It's a 12 scale figure, and I kind of really like it. I kind of really like it here. It's probably the most authentic looking Hellboy that I think that they've released. I mean, Hellboy tends to get a lot of statues. My friend and coworker Andrew, he's a huge Hellboy fan. I think it's actually his favorite comic franchise, and I think I'm gonna have to show this to him because it looks like he actually has an articulated Hand of Doom or Fist of Doom.
When did this Dark Horse Direct line start, or is this new?
Yeah, I think this is new. Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it looks like it says here it's being produced by 1,000 Toys, and they've put out some really neat figures. I've had a chance to mess with some of them at the meetups. I believe Kevin brought some.
was gonna say I have zero knowledge of any of this, so
They do those
Yeah.
blame
it's all on
figures.
you.
Yes,
The
yes,
synthetic
they
human.
do. Yep.
Is the
And
price
so
on
this
there?
kind of let's see.
If it's 1,000 toys, it's going to be like $60.
Yeah,
I heard it was
See,
too
now you're
high.
thinking. Now you're talking to me. Now you're talking my language. It's the price on there.
7.5 inches tall, and he can only be found through the Dark Horse Direct service. So
Yeah, I heard he was really expensive, like over $100.
Let's say, because if they do a Grendel figure, I will have to get that.
Let's take a look here. He is $120. So
And with that, I could buy 2 Storm collectibles. No.
Swing and a miss.
yeah.
That's
So.
more than Mezco.
Yeah.
And
I
Mezco's
think.
coming with the Hellboy.
Are they?
But I guess he's bigger than a regular Mezco, though.
Well, it's 7.5 inches. They're both 12 scale. So if Mezco keeps with what the scale of Hellboy is supposed to be, yeah.
Theirs might be $100.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice looking figure.
It definitely is. The articulation looks like it's there. So
I like the Hellboy movies. I have no vested interest in the character, but there you go. If you like that,
Yeah.
enjoy.
There you go with that.
there you go. That. So let's use that as a jumping point. What are some figures out there that you guys want made, and who do you want to make them?
I got a good question or a good answer to that right off the cuff, and that is SH Figure Arts Indiana Jones.
Oh, why don't they have that?
They have a Figma one, so.
Yeah, but I mean, you would think Lucasfilm and Disney, they work with Figuarts. That would be, that's one where you absolutely positively need to get the face sculpt right, because when Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out, it was nice to see like that legacy line of Indiana Jones back on the shelves, but none of them really got Harrison Ford's likeness down all the way. Or if they had a good face sculpt, he had like the soft goods body. But now, man, that's a really good suggestion. That's something that I would want. And all the accessories, you could come with the fertility idol, varieties of the whip, like a bendy whip.
Could be Snake.
Snake. Yeah, you could get like a release with the Ark. I mean, you could do Belloc. I mean, man, imagine that with the melting face, an optional melting face.
They could do the deluxe version with the big box, and then just fill it with accessories and charge any goddamn thing they wanted and sell crap tons of them.
Make that the only way to get Marion. But yeah, Figuarts Indiana Jones, that's a really good suggestion. How about you, T? I know you got something brewing.
I don't think SH Figuarts can make him because they haven't made them so far. But Figma, I guess, Breath of the Wild Link, which should have come out 2 years ago. I don't know why.
I agree.
Yep.
Well,
I
technically,
agree. I'd buy that.
Technically, a year ago, because Breath of the Wild came out March of last year. But yeah, they gotta have that cooking.
I hope they don't wait as long as it took them to make Twilight Princess Link, because that's weird.
For real. And they still haven't done Ocarina of Time Link, Zelda or Sheik. Yeah, there's a lot of gaps there.
Which is really shocking that they haven't done that. Or Ganondorf.
And that's funny too, isn't it? That some of these properties they milk totally dry, and then other ones and I don't know what the back end dealing is with some of these things, but you would think you'd see them go wild with like Legend of Zelda. I don't know. I don't understand how that works, and maybe
if they've got the Nintendo license, run with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You would think they'd be cranking that crap out left and right, but I don't know.
They do have a real action hero Breath of the Wild Link. I forget how big they are. I think they're like 10 inches tall or something like that, with cloth clothing, with soft goods. But that thing is like $200 or something like that.
Yeah. And to be honest, like when I played Breath of the Wild, he was not in the blue tunic very long. First and foremost, because I didn't know where to get the blue tunic until I was like midway through the game, and I went to boy, what was the name of that town? It was like the first town you go to, and she's like, "Oh yeah, here's your blue tunic." And at that point, I already had like the green tunic from like my amiibo collection.
Oh right, yeah.
Can you? I think. Can you upgrade the hero's gear? I can't remember.
No, that stuff's kind of like, yeah. It's mostly for show. In fact, like I used the I mean, man, now I'm like drawing a blank on names of different.
I use the Sheikah gear.
Yeah, the Sheikah gear I used a lot, and then I used the one for swimming. Good God, I'm like drawing a blank on that one. The Zora armor, thank you. Yeah, the Zora armor was pretty useful.
Yeah, did you ever dye the coloring of the clothes?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
But that's true. That's true in the chat. They said Captain Falcon and Ridley. You got Figma again with Samus. You have Samus. Where is her supporting cast? You know.
Yeah.
Right now,
yeah, Ridley is a no-brainer.
Has Samus up for their Smash shelf. You know, that's all it's good for right now.
Yeah.
They never even made a Metroid, have they?
No, World of Nintendo did, and
but those are damn good ones, though.
They are,
both of them.
Yeah, I don't see anybody making a better Metroid than that. I mean, that was probably World of Nintendo had one job there: make the mandibles move and have good paint on it, and they did it. Yeah, that's a good suggestion from Gort. That's actually a figure that I would want is Captain. It's not the figure. I'll get to mine after after True gets to his, because I can see he's
probably waiting for us to move on because he's not a Nintendo nerd.
No, but I mean this is any figure by anybody. You know, who would you want to make? Who would you?
I'm torn between two. The number one, though, I would love to see Revoltech make me a Spawn.
That would be amazing.
I'm down with that. Yep, I'd buy that.
I mean, I've got their Vash, and they could do the cape, they could do the chain. It would look so freaking amazing. And
I'll buy that too.
With the Revoltech system, they can make all the different spawns, and you can have the commando spawns. You can give him the gun, and it would, again, it's a print money scenario. I mean, the Violator would work perfect with the Revoltech joints.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that I'm surprised. McFarlane's being so freaking selfish with his properties, but that would just translate so well, and especially if they're doing that new movie coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think he could make some money through licensing. That dude, pretty. You know, he's pretty good at finding ways to make money.
Yeah, but him with figures. I mean, he just decided to put leg articulation in.
I know.
The only thing that scared me though about Revoltech doing Spawn is that cape, Mac. They got to get that cape. They got to lock that cape down. You know?
If you ever handled their Vash the Stampede figure, they would be able to do this. They would do the cape, no problem.
Okay.
The other one I think would be cool would be if Storm Collectibles did Darkstalkers.
Oh, Darkstalkers! That's a good answer. Like that's the property time forgot, man. Like they had their game in a comic book series, and then what?
Well, Storm is pulling out every fighting game possible. King of Fighters, World Heroes Jet, Tekken, and they've got the Street Fighter, and they're doing this. They're doing Street Fighter 2 now. They should be. Darkstalkers should be like. But they're cranking out so many properties. I could understand holding back a little. But those would be my dream figures right there.
That's a good suggestion. Yep. Morgan and Lowe's on the shelf. I do that.
I mean, that Spawn idea, I really love that. I would have never thought about that with Spawn, but they would work perfectly, like you said, with Revoltech.
Yeah. Well, as for me,
what about you, Zero?
You know, it's funny. Like ever since messing with the Robot Heroes and becoming a Soul Chogokin fan, and SOC, they put out like a lot of big iconic robots, and when they do, it's like a definitive version. I love Gundam, and one of my favorite builds ever was the Perfect Grade RX-78. And that thing was just it was a treat to put together, but I don't have the time, effort, or energy or space to put something like that together now. And if Soul Chigokin did just an RX-78 with all the bells and whistles, LEDs, good build quality, a core fighter that pops out and transforms, the different options for the beam sabers, and if they found a way to put LEDs in the beam sabers, I think the Perfect Grades actually had them. I remember one of my kits, actually, you could put button cell batteries in the beam saber. I have to find out which one that was. But I would, for me, at this point, even though my namesake actually comes from a Gundam, it comes from the 08th MS team. It was Shiro's modified. It was the Extra 008. So a little bit of trivia there. But I just think that having a nice big die-cast RX-78 with all the bells and whistles and LEDs would be awesome. And it's just a nice iconic piece. And I'd be really happy to have that on the shelf. Maybe a Zaku to go with it. Maybe Chars. I mean, they could do, if they did that, they'd do a green and a red one, no brainer. But that would be mine. So probably surprising that it would be a Gundam, but and of course Soul Chigokin Bandai, it would be a slam dunk for licensing. They wouldn't even have to try.
I'm not real big on that property, so I couldn't say one way or the other, but sounds good. Sounds good to me.
I forgot what it looked like. I remember you talking about this before.
Oh, the Easy 8.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up real quick. It kind of looks like a white Optimus Prime in a way, but doesn't have a head crest. It's a very the reason I liked it was because it was a very non-traditional Gundam design.
I've seen some at Barnes & Noble that remind me of Optimus, the model kits.
So
I almost bought them off of that.
So there it is right there. It's just a very, very
plain,
unconventional. Yeah, I mean it's plain, yeah, but in the anime it was pretty cool. And the thing about 08th MS team is that it was set in a Vietnam kind of backdrop, and against the jungles and the waterfalls and rocks. It really popped on screen. So I mean they all kind of did.
Is that the one that ripped off his own arm to beat somebody up?
Yep. It just he his arm gets crippled by the Gulf Custom, and he rips it off and starts.
Check out the metal composite figurizations.
I've heard about those. Those are pretty big, aren't they? They're like 1/60th scale, right?
They're pretty, yeah. But that's
a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah,
that's.
They're like $450, $500, but
no, that's not a good thing. I'm talking in the realm of Soul Chigokin price.
But they're they'll kill you if you get hit with one. So.
Well, that's like the Unimetal figures. That's shout out to Kuma Style TJ. That's one thing I've always been really supremely jealous of in his collection of those Unimetal Optimus Primes. That's a thing that exists, and that's the thing that I'd want. But I don't, $1,100 one, and then those things are so limited that once they're on the market, they're you basically have to get them on the secondary market because they sell out that fast. But anybody that wants to see a really cool Optimus Prime, check out the Unimetal Prime. Check out Kuma Styles' review of it. He walks through all the different features, and it has a moving mouth plate and pre-recorded voice lines of Peter Cullen, LEDs. You can strip off pieces of the armor and see the inner workings. It's a fantastic.
Those Unimetals make the mass Prime look like a KO. I mean, those things.
Well, that was the thing. I had a discussion with TJ about that, and we were talking about, and I, was telling him, I'm a fan of those, and he's like, man, when you get the Unimetal, it's a done deal. I can't have it in my collection anymore, because that's exactly what he said, is that it makes it seem like a KO. And I think that the Mass Prime is a great figure, and anybody that messes with it's impressed. But I think that Unimetal's on a whole nother level.
Well, it's like when you get you get the Soul of Chigoka in Voltron, and then you get the
Right.
Playmate one.
It's no contest. Well, except it is a contest because you can't find the Soul Chigokin one anymore. So,
Can't find the
sure I
Playmate
can. He's
either.
right there.
well, hey, I got one right here. I remember for my buddy Gary, that was a big to do for him for a while. He wanted
Here's
one
mine.
so bad.
You like
Yeah.
mine?
I
Right
I bet
here.
you got a good deal.
I'll set it here in front of the camera.
that clear version's really clear.
Yeah, when the lines are forming, they go clear, and this is the special edition. Y'all are jealous. All right.
Yeah.
The
I
Emperor's
just
New
have my
Collection.
memory.
So,
Now I just got to wait for that Dragon Caesar, and I'll be happy. And then I
I
won't have to buy
know, it's
another
coming.
Soul of Chigokin again,
yeah, you will.
unless I come out with the Vehicle Force.
Well, if they come out with Vehicle Force, if they come out with what if they come out with a Tiger Zord?
That would mean that they'd be going all Die Ranger. Crap.
Titanus is probably the line. Like, I think you can probably get away with the Legacy Titanus.
No. If they did the Tiger Zord, then they would have to then do the Thunder Zord, which
I know.
oh
Could you
god.
imagine? Oh, I like how you're like biting your nails.
Can you see your wallet burst into flames just in your pocket right now?
He sees his daughter's college fund bursting into flames.
I mean, I'm a firm believer that your kids need to be responsible for their own financial future, so they can put themselves through college. So that you have
Speaking
more
of which,
figures.
just-
Is
Yeah,
she
we're
in
gonna
public
start
school?
What's that?
Is
Take?
Kira in public? Is she in public school?
Yeah.
Streamer?
Yes, she is. Well, charter school, but yeah.
I was about to say if she wasn't, she was going to have to be.
Oh,
It's okay. We're going to start a per podcast next week. So go ahead. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It'll be the Princess Talk. And
She likes doing that, right?
yeah. There's probably a market for that for kids doing a podcast. It's kind of coming.
Yeah,
it
in.
is, but I really don't want to see the adults watching it. I want to punch every one of them.
God. Welcome to 2018.
Oh, this got dark real quick.
Well, we do have a dark story towards the end of this that involves Matt and I. But before then, we'll cleanse everyone's palates. And we want to talk about our toy hunting experiences, because for anybody that watches T's channel, they probably are very well versed that you're probably like most well known for your toy hunts. And recently, Parts has been participating. I've participated in a couple. One where I was in a Cleveland persona for April Fools, which was a lot of fun, and a couple times when I was at the now defunct Toys R Us, and I would have really good finds. And then of course I've made cameos when we were out and about. But all of us like to go toy hunting, and it's unfortunately becoming a dying art. But I wanted to talk about our experiences with it, where we go, what we like to do. Is it a habitual thing? Just kind of go down the panel and talk about what it's like these days.
Start with T, since he's kind of the resident expert.
Yes, I'm a master at toy hunting. But anyway, what I like to do is, if I have expendable money, just go to a store right away. I usually go to Target, Walmart, anywhere like that, because it's the closest and easiest to get to. And I don't know. I usually, when I'm filming, I'll just breeze through really quick. But normally I turn the camera off and circle around the aisles and look back into the aisle and then go into another aisle again, then come back to the same aisle again. Because sometimes it's like so easy to miss something that's right in front of your face.
Well, I think,
And
that's the
depending on
big, not to cut you off, but that's like the big difference between most folks is that when you're doing it, you're recording.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this,
Sometimes
Steve. When you go to do a toy hunt, say in Target, Do you pre-scope out everything beforehand, or are your reactions and your finds live on camera for the first time?
Everything's live. Sometimes recently too, I start recording before I even walk in there. So and I'm talking to myself in the middle of the aisle on the way to the toy section.
Okay.
So it's only been a couple of times where I walk into the store not planning on recording something, but then I see some toys that I like. But then I'll mention that, hey, I'm in here and look what I see. I don't try to be fake about it.
That's a little different than the way I do it. Is for like Zero said, if anybody watches T's channel, I do a guest reporting every so often for my hunts. I'm up in northern Maryland. T's in the city, so we got some distance between us and some different finds usually. What I'll do is, if I go into a store with the intent to record, I actually will go through and do a drive-by real fast, just to so when I'm recording, I know where to look beforehand. It's just easier for me, and I don't think it wastes as much time if I'm trying to get in and out really fast, where I'll go through, spot check things, and then go back through again with the camera and just point it out. I also have this paranoia that if I'm pulling up to, say, a target looking for something very specific, I have this paranoia that there's like 6 or 7 hunters that have just pulled up right before me and are all rushing towards the aisle, and that I have to get there and check myself first. Anybody that would ever see me at a target with my son, especially, he's a 4-year-old, so he takes his time lumbering,
Come on, Daddy needs plastic.
Exactly. So when we walk in,
picturing Indiana Jones with start to play.
I would have thrown him into a cart and said, "Come on."
Exactly. So when we get in, I throw him over my shoulder, and I'm like, "Come on, buddy, we're going to go to the toys and check it out." So I'll run there and check and see what's there, to beat all of the other ninja secret toy hunters that got in the store before me. So that's what I'll do. I'll scope it out before I film. But and you'll see if I ever, like the last two toy hunts that I submitted to your channel, you'll see that I already have the thing I'm going to buy in hand, because I went through and grabbed it so the stupid fucking ninjas don't get there first. So when I discover something, I actually did just find it, but I already have it in my hand. I'll be like, hey, here's this. Oh, by the way, I'm getting this because I just found it there on the shelf. But I don't know. That's how I do it. I'm by no means an expert. He's done it way more than I have. I just try to help out where I can.
I just walk in and try to make it natural as possible. People say they like hearing the sarcastic crap that I'm saying, and when I don't talk, they get upset and put it in the comments.
Yeah, because that was a question I had for you early on. Was like, so are you actually going in the stores talking, or are you recording like a narrative later? And I was surprised to find out that you were actually, going in and saying everything that was like live and completely candid. Because I know, like when I did the April Fool's Day one, I was getting weird looks. But then again, I mean, if I you walk into a store talking like this Glen Burnie Mall sucks. You're gonna get the weird looks, and I was just like, I better like ad-lib this later. The one I did was like when I knocked over all the Vince McMahon figures. That was that was like real. Oh, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to go pour a 40 on the curb at Toys R Us after this. So, True, how about you, man? I know you do quite a bit, and
Listen, I'm in Clayton, North Carolina.
Kakalaki.
And T-Man, he knows every time I go to my Walmart, because he gets the exact same message from me every single time.
They ain't got shit.
It ain't changed in 6 months, okay? I look at my Target, I look at my Walmart. I'm seeing Wave 1, Power of the Primes, and the last wave of RAD figures.
Man.
That's it.
Do you still have
we don't even have RD.
the female beetle on the shelf?
The which one? Yes, and still seeing a couple Miss Marvels. Marvel Legends, it can be a little better, but I am lucky. I actually have a guy who can get me my cases directly. But yeah, this North Carolina Toy Hunt is not worth doing. I could put a video up 8 months ago, and it will be the same video.
You need to show a newspaper at the beginning so people know you're not bullshitting them.
I actually sent someone a picture of this. The Walmart I had, it completely restocked, and it put in 16 Power of the Prime Starscreams and Grimlocks. That's all they put in.
So you need to buy them all so you clear the stock out so they have to get more in.
They'll still drag their feet.
And that manager will be like, well, gee, the Starscreams are selling, so let me get more.
I mean, T has a good point though. They will drag their feet because I've gone into several Walmarts that are just completely barren, and like they
don't care. I've got Wave 3 Power of the Primes here. I never saw Hunger and I never saw Ripper Snapper. So, and I said, apparently the last wave of.
Wait, do you still need Ripper Snapper?
I need Ripper Snapper and I need Hunger.
I just saw Ripper Snapper.
Yeah, Ripper Snapper's pretty plentiful here.
But
I'll help you out with that one.
I sent a picture in the group chat. I sent a picture the other day. Everyone's finding the Wave 3 stuff at Ross. I found the Metals Optimus Prime figure instead. That piece of junk. We got nothing.
Do you still see Misty Knight? Marvel Legends?
No. White Tigers.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
She's still at one of my stores too. Because somebody stole a Build-A-Figure piece out. I finally had to grab it off the shelf and take it to the counter. Like, this has been up here for 2 years. Like, nobody's gonna buy it because it doesn't have the Build-A-Figure piece. The box is.
I actually saw a Marvel Legend Electro still. The from the movie Amazing Spider-Man Electro.
Yeah. There's one at my Walgreens.
I expected you to say
Walgreens?
Rite Aid.
The Walgreens has Electro.
My Walgreens currently has, I actually counted them, 18 Medusas, and that's it.
Medusa.
Pretty much. So I gotta count on my guys who order direct for me to find anything.
Or the kindness of strangers.
Yeah. As for me, it's funny. Like I kind of have like the same routes as you guys, but I rarely buy anything at Walmart, Target, or Walgreens, I guess. The majority of my purchases come from online, and it's not that I don't like, because I still collect the mainline Hasbro stuff, but yeah, the majority of what I get will come from the internet. I'll just do Amazon now because it's more convenient, but I just habitually like going out to the stores, and it's something that it's kind of like a pastime of mine. And going down the aisles and finding stuff for other people, specifically T a lot.
Well, it's also a lot easier for me to sneak it in past my wife.
Oh, well, no, there you go, because it doesn't come in the front door.
Yeah, you can leave it in the trunk.
I will say this about Amazon, though. If you're a mint-in box collector, Amazon's kind of rough on you. It's just, that's not the way to go, man. Those boxes sometimes they show up beat to hell, man. I mean, that's.
And we got a lot of
like they have someone at the end of the line like dedicated to drop kicking your thing before they put it in the box and then send it off to you. But
well, what's worse is we get a lot of toy shows in my area, so we actually have a lot of dealers, and so they're probably scouting out the areas. We got a convention going on this weekend, the Raleigh SuperCon, the same weekend that all the Gamora soldiers were supposed to drop. Gone. I bet you I'll see them all there.
Well, at least you know you'll get one.
One way or the other.
One way or the other.
Yeah. So you have a fun story.
We want to wrap this up with that story.
So
let's tell me a story.
So we like to call this the Craigslist story. For a while, the group chat between parts T and I was called Craigslist, and so I really got to know Parts pretty well around. I don't know. I would say what was the first meetup? Was that September of?
It was right after the TFCon DC.
So it was October.
It was October. Yeah.
Yeah. So October last year. I was trying to get a meetup together, and we were pretty successful. We had one up in White Marsh, Maryland, and there was like a nice outdoor restaurant bar. We got some folks to attend, some real good people. I think Scott and Alex and Mike and it was a really good thing. And Matt and I really hit it off, and kind of introduced him to T-Man, and we've been pretty close talking since. And so I got Matt in touch with a group seller that I frequently work with, GCI, and he had some figures that he wanted to lend to T to review. Now I kind of work anybody that knows T and watches his videos knows I work within walking distance of his office, so it's pretty easy for me to move stuff back and forth. But as Matt said, he's all the way up in northern Maryland. So, but fortunately, Matt works at a building that's on my commute home. So we arranged it. I'd meet Matt, because I get out at 3 or 3:30 every day.
So he's going to meet me. That's MEET at this point.
Yeah, not MEAT. No, not doing any of that.
Wait for it.
So, it had been a minute since I'd seen Matt. I didn't know what his car was. So, he said black car, and we were going to park across the street from his office. There's a movie theater there, and there's like a movie theater, hotel. It's near an airport, so all this stuff is logically
there. You got the movie, the place, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's a one-stop shop, really. A bunch of restaurants there. So, he's like, "Hey, meet me across the street at the parking lot for at Hoyt's." And I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm parked near the Wendy's, 7-Eleven, and the hotel." And he said, "Okay," because that's the closest thing to the entrance across the street from where he works. And so he's like, "Yeah, I'll be in the black." I forget what model car you drive, but it's a black car, black sedan.
Sentra, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not paying attention. I'm sitting there watching YouTube videos, and
he's watching a T-Man review.
I was watching a T-Man review. Shout out to that guy. And just kind of waiting, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see this black sedan pull up next to me, and the windows were really tinted, but the guy kind of fit Matt's build. And so I was like, okay, this has to be him. And he parks literally right next to me. Driver side to driver side. So I was like, this has to be Matt. And so I get out of my car, and a guy that's not Matt steps out and hands me a key card and says, "We're in room 215B." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "You're from Craigslist, right?" And I said, "No." And so he carefully takes the key back and starts, and he gets back in his car very, very smoothly. Doesn't say "I'm sorry" or anything. He just says nothing, gets back in his car and starts driving. And so, Matt then messaged me, "Hey man, just to let you know, I'm running a few minutes late." And I'm like, you won't believe it. A guy who is looking for a Craigslist hookup literally just came and handed me a card and thought I was the guy in the same spot we were supposed to meet. And he's like, and I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to believe me on this.
I had just pulled up, and you got to remember at this point, like we had talked probably, we talked off and on most every day since the meetup, just shooting the shit. But him and I had only met in person, maybe the meetup
right, there was,
one time before.
Yeah, we met at TFCon kind of like in a passing.
Yeah. So when I pull up next to him, he's got this look on his face. And he's like, "Man, I'm not bullshitting you when I tell you this."
Yeah, it's like, "See that black car driving over there?" And it's like, "You probably think I'm spinning a yarn. It doesn't matter." No sooner, this orange car pulls up behind us, and he's like, "I didn't know there was going to be two of y'all." And he took everything. And then like what was it I said? I was like, "Are you from Craigslist?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "It's that black car driving looking for you." Oh.
And he looked at us like
He's like, "There's something wrong with us."
yeah. He's like, "Are you shitting me right now? Like you guys are in the same place at the right time. What's going on here? Like we were in the wrong."
Like, the weird thing was like the guy in the black car, like he was like he just like seemed like very, very unsuspecting, and he had like a wedding ring on and everything, and I'm like, not good. Hey,
your congressman by any chance?
Did I what?
Was it your congressman by any chance?
He may have been.
He was trying to get our vote one way or the other.
Right. It was completely unsuspecting. Like, wait, what is this guy? But the other guy, like, he had Craigslist hookup written all over him. Like, I know that's me too, y'all. Like, he was like Bruce from Family Guy in a supercar. No, he wasn't a supercar, but it was definitely like a grabber orange colored car. And I don't know how he didn't just bust out laughing. And like he said, here we are, we're in a parking lot doing something as wholesome as exchanging toys, and he's there like, exchange toys.
I did bust out laughing because I'm like, does this guy know that no means no, or are we gonna have a fight on our hands here?
On that note, make sure to Kabasa slam the like button.
Yeah,
do whatever it takes.
I remember you was telling me the story before Parks Warmer got there, and I was like, "This is a crazy story."
Yeah, he was.
But I'm happy he was there to actually
on it.
Yes.
Back me up in terms of the story.
So we don't meet in that lot anymore.
Yeah.
Neither form of the word.
Oh, hey there. Y'all flopping toys. Oh boy.
So that's the Craigslist story, and that might be a good place to end it, gentlemen.
I think so. I think that's a good jumping off point. So before we go,
bottom that one.
Oh, good God, that's where we ended. That's where we bottom out for the evening. So guys, we'll go down the line. Parts, where if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Let me see. The Facebook, Twitter, Xbox Live. I'm Parts Former on all those. So
very cool.
Look for the name.
The Twitter. Everybody knows where to find T. No, I'm just kidding. T, where can people find you?
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr.
You got a Tumblr account.
Tumblr.
I don't give you that Tumblr shit, man.
All you have to do is type T-Man978. T-Man978, and you'll find me.
Are you on Rule 34?
Come find me, please. I like people. Sometimes.
No. Oh boy. And there you go with that.
Yeah.
Sure. Where can people find you besides Rule 34?
I am probably right now most prominent on Instagram at True Star Screamer, and that is TRU. Also on PlayStation Network, True Star Screamer. I'm in a couple of the groups, just as David Lutwack. Feel for the Finest. You'll catch a lot of my cooking on there. So if you want some recipes. But
barbecue.
Yeah. Barbecue. Grill life, #Grill life, baby.
There you go.
How about you, Zero?
All right. Well, everybody can find me on the Facebook groups as James Jordan. You can find me on Instagram at it's extra_0. I think there's an 08 on there. I could be wrong. It's a private account. I'm working on getting some figure pictures on there, and I'll open it up. But I'm most active on Twitter. You can find me at the original Zero. And of course, on PlayStation Network and Xbox Live, you can find me as Extra Zero. You can find me here most every Friday night. As I said, next week I will be going to the beach with my lovely girlfriend, so we'll have a sub for me. So everybody out there listening, make sure you like and subscribe if you like what we're talking about here. That'd be a good way to join in on the fun. We'll be going live
9 o'clock every Friday night, I think, is the decision. So make sure to hop in that chat. Say hey to us. Be sure to give you a shout out and engage the chat. If you don't want to listen on YouTube, you can always find us on iTunes, Podbean, and the Google Play Store, the Google Play. I almost said the Google Play Store. And, of course, get that notification bell a ring, hit that like button, and be sure to give us a review on iTunes and Google, because it'll help us out and help get Figure Action to a bigger audience. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight, everybody listening, everybody in the chat, yeah, that'll do it for this evening. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week. I look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks. So thanks for joining us, and take care.
See you guys.
Peace.